Good afternoon on what is a mild, bright and sunny day. It is Friday the 28th of February and I'm in the reading Nook, a nice hot cup of tea. And a box to continue unboxing. What I've got in here is Pros and Cons, the English language in just a minute by Gyles Brandreth. Now, Gyles Brandreth is sort of like one of those figures that kind of divides people. He is a raconteur, former Tory MP, is past, famously a collector of teddy bears, but also an author, raconteur, just sort of almost an author who died out. And he's always sort of like, generally sort of like an engaging sort of like company. When you listen to him or watch him, who's got interesting things to say about, just an incredibly wide range of subjects. So did you know which, so this is actually a Radio 4 book. Pros and Cons. To write with style and a bit of grace, keep your sentences a manageable pace. As Ogden Nash would surely say, don't let your verbs and nouns go astray. Adjectives are fine, but don't overdo, or your reader's mind will stew. Passive voice is rather weak. Active words are what you seek. A paragraph should flow, not jar, like a smooth and gleaming car. And remember, in your writing quest, clarity and brevity are always best. So, did you know which language is the longest word to appear in literature? How about the meaning of quoop or squibble? Ever heard of the great vowel shift? In Pros and Cons, the English language in just a minute, best-selling author Gyles Brandreth takes you on a magical mystery tour of our mother tongue, from the origins of words, correct grammar and punctuation to similes, euphemisms and record-breaking tongue twisters, all delivered in 60-second installments without hesitation, repetition or deviation. A wildly entertaining A to Z of verbal acrobatic with superb illustrations from Stephen Appleby throughout. Pros and Cons is Gyles Brandreth at his word perfect best. So the whole kind of thing with Pros and Cons, the English language in just a minute, and it's important that the just a minute bit is in a different colour because it lends itself to the format. Just a Minute is a very long-running Radio 4 programme. It is 60 years old, over 50 years old. It's a radio programme in which the chairman calls upon speakers to talk about a given subject in 60 seconds without repetition, deviation or hesitation. And so it's a competition to speak for a minute. And it's very difficult, but it's also a lot of fun because you can make up things on the fly, play around with languages. But the biggest thing is not repeating yourself. So Gyles Brandreth has taken that format and brought it into a book. And if you're interested in Just a Minute, it's ongoing. You can get up episodes sort of like from the BBC, and then you can listen to them. And there's also a Just a Minute book as well. So we've got the credits page and contents page, and then so yeah, start now. Click. So Just a Minute in just a minute. Welcome to Just a Minute. That's how the show on the radio always starts. So I reckon the book should too. Just a Minute is the world's longest running, fastest moving, most amusing, most amazing panel game. Oops, someone pressed a buzzer. They're interrupting me because before I even got to my stride. Why? Because inadvertently a moment ago I repeated the word most. The essence of Just a Minute is that it is a competitive entertainment in which the players are invited to speak on a set subject for 60 seconds without hesitation, deviation or repetition. I don't sort of think I have been listening to the series as long as I can actually remember. Really started when I was 13 or 14, got a radio, discovered Radio 4 and off I went. So here we've got a discussion of sort of like the history of Just a Minute, and sort of like the setting elements of this book. So not only just a minute in just a minute, you've got the history in just a minute, how many words in just a minute, and the author in just a minute, and essentially what the book is about, along with footnotes. And then all, of course, illustrated by the cartoons, which are very kind of newspaper-like. And we start off with A. Oh, and of course we're going to go through the alphabet. in these very short, punchy topics, and I think this makes them sort of very kind of reader friendly. You can pick up this book, put it down again, flip through, find a subject matter, come read it, and then walk away, if you will. Put the book down and come back again. It's both an exercise in reading and writing. It's obviously writing for Gyles Brandreth, but essentially you are looking to do two things when you're reading this. Well, one, of course, is to enjoy what's there and basically understand the information that you're being given, but also sort of like just to see, of course, whether Brandreth can actually carry it off and effectively write in just a minute without deviation, repetition, or hesitation. On basically a huge range of subjects, clay brain keks and other simpletons, and on your head be it flower power, Gerapidgia to lick spigots, and mumble fubbles to objurgations, because there is English as she is spoken is an interesting language enough, but there's a lot of words out there which are still in the dictionary, and of course it's a massive dictionary if you look at the Oxford English Dictionary, that can be brought into play. Some of them you wouldn't use because they don't apply. Some of them are sort of obviously old-fashioned, and some of them are just interesting. We even get down to for that, and then when he's literally and other tongue twisters. And we come down to the last section, the end of the road. X, Y, Z. Publishers' rejections. The last word in sales. Trump that, the last delivery, and literary last words. And ending essentially with a single, just a word, Zigst. I have no idea what that word is. Obviously, that'll be interesting to find out when I get to read it. Of course, I've got the acknowledgements, index, and author's blurb on the back of the flyleaf. So yeah, that's Pros and Cons, the English language in just a minute by Gyles Brandreth. Well, I do hope you enjoyed this unboxing in the Nook. If you did, then please do click on the like button down below. And of course, if you've got any comments or feedback, I do appreciate you taking the time to post those. And lastly, if you want to be alerted to get more unboxings in the Nook, where you'll see me out here with a box, typically containing a role-playing game, supplemental scenario, or in this case, a humorous book about the English language, written in the format of a very long-running Radio 4 comedy panel series, which I will then unbox and chat about to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so, all of course accompanied by a nice hot cup of tea. Then please do click on the subscribe button down below. Thanks again for watching another unboxing in the Nook. I will be back again soon with another one. Bye for now.